COVID for the holidays. Folks, what are we doing? So as of the date of this filming, yesterday, there were 200,000 new COVID cases in America. That resulted in 2,000 deaths in one day. That brings us to a grand total of over 260,000 Americans have died from coronavirus this year. I guess it's not enough to kill strangers in stores and restaurants and rallies and gyms, or kill friends and colleagues at the job or at church or at parties or at college. Now Americans will be traveling all over the country in their cars and buses and trains and airplanes for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's to kill family members, friends, and other loved ones. So like I said, what are we doing? Well, before I tell you that, I'll tell you how it started. It started out with too many people getting sick, too many people being hospitalized, too many patients needing ventilators, which there were shortages of, too many patients needing hospital beds, which there were shortages of, too many doctors and nurses needing PPEs, which, you guessed it, there were shortages of. And most importantly, too many people were dying. So some politicians, especially in the hardest hit areas, did the right thing and shut down the communities. The result, less people died, the curve was flattened, and everyone let out a sigh of relief. And we lived happily ever after, right? Well, not so fast, because we all know all was not well. You see, people were losing their businesses. Workers were getting laid off. Paychecks stopped coming. People were unable to pay their bills. People were foreclosing and losing their houses. People were becoming homeless. So politicians then succumbed to the pressure, and now communities are opened back up again. Unfortunately, the cycle began all over again. Now infections have skyrocketed. More people have gotten sick. More people have gotten hospitalized. More people have been put on ventilators. More doctors and nurses are under mental fatigue and stress. And more death. So now you're saying to yourself, Dave, what's the answer? Well, one answer is American people not allowing politicians to vote to give themselves and their billion-dollar donors tax breaks worth upward of $1.9 trillion. You know that old piece of advice where your mom and dad say, don't spend up all your money, save for a rainy day because something bad might happen? Well, America should have taken that advice. You don't give a $1.9 trillion tax cut to the 1% who obviously don't need it, and then turn around and tell the American people, who are taxpayers, that you can't afford to give them $1,200 a month to keep their businesses open, to keep paychecks coming, and to help them pay for their rent, mortgages, and food on the table, especially during a pandemic. But as always, some politicians have a different answer. Some of the politicians want you to carry on with your lives as if there's nothing wrong. Keep the economy open. Let people run their businesses. Let people go to work. Ultimately, let people die. Not only that, some politicians are still not advocates of mask wearing and social distancing. In fact, one politician even likened it to slavery. Yeah, I'll give you a minute so you can go to the bathroom and vomit over that one. In summary, some politicians have successfully normalized death and brainwashed some Americans into digging and then jumping into their own grave. So here's some advice from an overweight asthmatic who somehow manages to put on a mask and social distance every time he leaves the house. Since the vaccine is just around the corner, skip Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's with the family and friends, and wait till everyone is vaccinated and tested. And then when you get together, you can call the gathering anything you want. Remember, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's are just dates on a calendar. In fact, theologians are still debating whether or not Jesus was born on December 25th anyway. Bottom line is, don't put strangers, acquaintances, colleagues, co-workers, friends, and family, or even yourself in danger this holiday season. Cancel your airline, train, and bus tickets, and keep your car in the driveway garage. It's just not worth it. A vaccine is just a few months away. And if you believe Dr. Fauci, and I do, some healthcare workers are even going to get vaccinated before the end of the year. Finally, if you don't trust me, trust the CDC, which is even advising not to travel during this holiday season due to the spike in COVID cases. So I ask you one last time, folks, what are we doing?
Trash talkers. Trash talkers. We're just